everyone, I'm Ashley with 9 Health, and this is Health Happens, our weekly Facebook Live show. And you know, health is happening every minute of every day, whether we like it or not, it's happening all around us. And that's why 9 Health wants to be your trusted source of information and inspiration so that you can make informed choices and make the best choices for you in your health journey. And today I'm here with Kendra Mitchell.
Hello.
She's our 9 Health Fair Volunteer Engagement Coordinator. And you know, there's a lot of ways you can make yourself happier and healthier.
Yes.
But one of the ways we're going to talk about today is, you guessed it, volunteering.
Volunteering.
Right? So there's a few things that we found that I want to share before we get into chat with Kendra about, you know, volunteering. We know it makes you feel good and warm and fuzzy, but there are actual proven health benefits to volunteering. So for instance, volunteers have been found to have a reduced risk of heart attack or stroke. And I'll read this here. Older adults who volunteered at least 200 hours in the previous year were less likely to develop high blood pressure. Americans that volunteer, they have a healthier lifestyle, and one way that we know this is because volunteers are 30% more likely to get a flu shot, which is coming up this fall. And then volunteers are more active. After 2 years of regular volunteering, it's found that female volunteers walked an average of 1,500 more steps each day than women who didn't volunteer. So there's some proven benefits for your healthy lifestyle to volunteering. So
Keeps you busy.
Do you agree with that?
I would say wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. So Kendra, tell us about your kind of journey to 9 Health Fair.
Well, I think that I am like a lot of people out there where I did volunteer in my life. My parents, you know, kind of raised us to do that, did things in high school, different blood drives, things like that, but really didn't have a purpose for doing it until I needed it myself. I went through cancer treatment, and in that time, so many people helped me that I felt like I had to give back and do that. So it was my personal experience that brought me to volunteering, and I think that's totally okay. There's so many people like that, but I do think that we are missing the opportunity, and people that, you know, live relatively healthy lives maybe are missing out on that additional piece that they could be thriving through volunteering.
Absolutely. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about the health benefits of volunteering. And you know, it's so important to mention that it's not just with 9 Health Fair that you can volunteer and get those benefits. And like you were mentioning, you found your volunteer purpose through your own personal experience. So one way that we can encourage people to volunteer is kind of find what's important to them and get connected in the community. There's so many great ways to find volunteer opportunities.
There are, and you, I think that when you have that passion for the specific group that you're helping, it can really help to, you know, really shine your own talents, your own strengths you can bring to that organization, and it makes a big difference.
It keeps you motivated.
It does, and you know, for me, I personally had colon cancer, and so I volunteer with the Colon Cancer Alliance as well. So that's a mission that's, you know, a lot more personal to me, as well as 9 Health. That's where I started there because I felt like people in my age group weren't necessarily paying attention to their health, excuse me. So I thought, if I can go and find a place where we're already doing these health fairs, maybe I can help someone, you know, just with my story. So there's a lot of places out there that you can get that help and find a good spot for yourself.
And I actually just met Kendra last fall, and she was explaining to us that because of her own experience, now she was volunteering at a fall fair. She was so excited, so active, and so engaged, and ever since then, she's just kind of been showing up more and more and more at 9 Health Fair, and all of a sudden now she has a job with 9 Health Fair.
Can't get rid of me.
Her volunteer experience actually led to an employee position.
And I think that is an evolution of my journey as well. I realized that the type of environment work-wise that I wanted to be in was something more fulfilling to my own goals and missions for, you know, the way I want to live my life. And the place that I had been volunteering in Health was just the place that I needed to be. So everything works out, you know, in the way it's supposed to. But
it's so important to find that personal experience to then lead you to that experience.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's see. Tell me a little bit about volunteers for 9 Health Fair. There's quite a few of them that work for 9 Health Fair each year.
And you know, we have to keep it simple, we basically break up our volunteers into 2 groups, medical and non-medical.
Yes.
But within both of those areas, there are so so many different outlets. If you are a medical provider and you want to do a certain screening, if you are a phlebotomist, if there's all these different components that will help the health side of our fairs. And then on top of that, we have the really fun parts, the things like Publicity Coordinator and non-medical volunteer coordinator that will help all of the day of volunteers. We have food coordinators that make sure everyone's fed. We have door greeters. Really, there's just endless possibilities. And one of the most wonderful things about a 9 Health Fair is that when you look around, all of the people working there, 99% are all volunteers.
Absolutely.
And it's just a wonderful experience to go through.
Could not happen without the volunteers.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that is interesting to mention. There's a lot of really surprising roles with 9 Health Fair to volunteer with. So you don't necessarily have to be a doctor or a nurse practitioner.
Yes.
We have a lot of opportunities for people just to kind of keep the logistics of the day rolling, like you mentioned.
Yes.
Door greeters, or even people in the parking lot to help direct traffic and help people find a parking spot.
Yes, that's important.
So tell us a little bit about like the food coordinator. What do they do?
Well, we have anywhere, depending on the fair size, you have anywhere from 20 volunteers to 100 plus volunteers, and because they're spending, usually the fairs run very early in the morning, and they're spending a lot of time with us. We try to make sure that they have breakfast and lunch.
Gotta be fed.
Yes, because if we're not fed and healthy running our day, we can't help the participants that are also coming to get their blood work done or have medical questions. So we need to keep our volunteers healthy and energetic.
Absolutely. We
Yes.
don't want anyone hungry
Yes,
at a 9 Health Fair.
exactly. So, the food coordinator would help with, we do have sponsorships that help supplement some of our fair food and things like that, our nourishment stations. But really, they are on the ground level using their contacts, their friends, their local community organizers to help find these donations. And it mostly comes through donations. So it's a great way to get involved in your community. You learn everyone who's around your fair site, because oftentimes all of those businesses and organizations will help support the fair.
And you can see that those lead to those warm, fuzzy feelings when you start asking for donations and you realize how generous people are within that
Absolutely.
that neighborhood.
Yes, and they really believe in they believe in what the volunteers are doing, and they want to help support them so that we can support our participants. I think it's wonderful.
Absolutely. And again, if you're just joining us, we're here with Kendra Mitchell. She's our volunteer engagement coordinator at 9 Health Fair. And we're talking about the many benefits of volunteering and ways that you can get involved if you're looking for a way to get involved either with 9 Health Fair or some other volunteer organization. Chat us up in the comments. We'd love to hear what you're looking for, what kind of opportunities you are seeking.
Yes.
So tell us, then we mentioned a publicity coordinator.
Yes, so the publicity coordinator, there is a wonderful communications team at 9 Health Fair, including Miss Ashley here, and they help us at a high level. So the larger pieces of media that we do, but still, one of the great things about 9 Health Fair is that it still is a grassroots type of a movement where the businesses surrounding the fair site tend to be the ones that support them. The community ties and the friendships that relationships that have been built through the organizers and the volunteers themselves. So that's the piece where the publicity coordinator goes around, maybe makes flyers and takes it to all those businesses, or year after year, a lot of the fair sites have the same publicity coordinator, so they get to know the people in that area, so they can continually come back to them for support. But it's a fun job, and it honestly doesn't have a whole lot of commitment to it. It does progress leading up to the fair, obviously, as we get closer, but there's a lot of resource tools, there's a lot of help from the 9 Health Fair team and your fair site team, as well as you get to kind of be creative and think of ways in your community that you can get the word out.
It makes me think it's a great role for someone that's in college, that's pursuing a degree in public relations, communications, journalism, anything like that. It's a great way to kind of get your feet wet, get some good experience, and so we're always looking for anyone like that.
That would be an amazing connection. But I will say too that it also, my first fair that I did, the publicity coordinator was a retired nurse.
Yeah.
So I think that she was, her name's Barb, if you're out there, hi. But she is wonderful, and she just works she really just decided to go out and meet these people, and it may sound scary if you don't have, like you mentioned, the background in PR and that kind of thing, but it's not as important as you think. I think the great thing that would make it for a college student is that they are able to use all their skills and be creative and reach out to these different ways, but someone who has no experience in it as well can be just as effective.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a great point. So we do have a lot of opportunities, medical, non-medical.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about the medical side. So obviously we've got a lot of people there that are
Yes.
drawing blood. Those are people
Yes.
are
Those are our
doctors.
phlebotomists, our doctors, our nurses, and that typically, if anyone's been to a 9 Health Fair, you know that's the big station that we have the most need for our medical staff. But there's also we have usually an Ask a Medical Question station, so there's a doctor or a medical provider that can speak to you about certain things that you'd like to know. There's different screenings we can offer, whether it's lung function, vision, hearing, etc. So a lot of openings for doctors. And if you even are a provider and you have some sort of skill, chiropractor, this kind of thing, and you want to come to a 9 Health Fair, we can find a place for you.
We'll get you plugged in.
Yes.
I just actually had my sister volunteer in Port Collins, and she did a foot screening.
See?
It's a great experience
Yeah,
for her. She's
it's
a nurse
wonderful.
practitioner, and they're always looking to keep their skills
Yes.
fresh and
Yes.
learn new things. And
It's a great way, and it's a great way to, as a provider, to give back to a community that you may not see at your practice, or
Absolutely.
things like that. So, wonderful outlet.
Yeah. And if you are looking to volunteer and you want to sign up right now, you can't wait any longer. We actually have our Director of Volunteer Engagement sitting by her phone, ready to take your calls. And so call her. You can call her directly at 303-996-0989. Again, that phone number is 303-996-0989, and that's directly takes you to Alex, our Director of Volunteer Engagement. She would love to chat with you, love to see how we can get you connected to either a fall fair coming up or any of our out of season opportunities. So that's another good thing to mention, is that we're well known for our fair seasons in the spring and in the fall, but there are opportunities available year round.
Yes, I mean, we believe wholeheartedly that we want to be everywhere that health happens, and it happens everywhere in life, and so we're trying to make that more of our mission, and I think that we're doing a pretty good job of it so far.
Yeah, so you'll see 9 Health Fair at different events in the community, and those are a lot of times run by volunteers.
Yes, most of our events are staffed by volunteers, and a lot of our events come from things that are personal to our volunteer group and things that they want us to participate in. So we love that.
Yeah,
Try to keep it up.
we're trying to be everywhere.
Yes.
Because you're right, health happens everywhere. So
It sure
also,
does.
if you are looking to sign up to volunteer with 9 Health Fair, you can also do it online at www.9healthfair.org. You can create an account. It's pretty easy, right?
Yes.
And you just kind of click and say what you're interested in, what your skills are.
Yes, absolutely. You can also, if you the website is very easy to use. It will get you plugged into specific things that you'd like and are interested in, or you can do a blanket. I just want to volunteer, and we'll reach out to you and let you know what we have, and you can kind of take a look at what might be a good fit for you.
Cool.
Which is another great thing about volunteering. It's not, I need you here from this time to this time. It's, what would you like to do for us, and we help you find that situation. So, but again, if you are having issues with your computer, or you're just not sure where you'd like to fit in, Alex is a great resource. That's how I started volunteering, talking with her, and she got me very excited about, just the world of volunteering, not even so much 9 Health Fair, but just what it feels like to give back to the community, and that's where I started. So,
And again, that's another part of our message today, is that volunteer with 9 Health Fair if it makes sense for you, but if it doesn't make sense for you and there's something else that you're a little bit more passionate about, we encourage you to find that role, because like we said, we're all about promoting health and helping you live your healthiest life, and we know that there are healthy benefits to volunteering. And actually I shared them at the beginning of this, but just in case we have any new viewers, there's 3 that I really want to mention. That volunteers are known to have a reduced risk of heart attack or stroke. That says older adults who volunteered at least 200 hours in the previous year were less likely to develop high blood pressure, which we know can contribute to so many devastating diseases. We know that volunteers have a healthier lifestyle overall because they're 30% more likely to get a flu shot. And with 9 Health Fair, we're going to make those pretty accessible this fall with all of our fall fairs.
yes, that's important timing.
Yeah, and then also volunteers are just overall more active. We know that female volunteers walked an average of 1,500 more steps each day than those that didn't volunteer. So you're moving, you have access to healthier things, and you're reducing your risk for heart attack or stroke. So that sounds pretty good to me, right? So either way, we want you to get involved. We want to make Colorado a state that has just a high level of volunteers and people that are interested in serving their communities, and that's just so important to us. So whether it's with 9 Health Fair or some other organization, we encourage you to get out there and volunteer.
It's true that people have so many different reasons why they volunteer. I asked my friends actually on Facebook.
A little research.
Yes, I got a lot of wonderful answers, and one of the things I was most surprised about is that the friends that responded to me were from all different facets of my life, different places and times, and it was just so inspiring to see the reasons behind why they volunteer. And it could be everything from, one friend who's really involved with women's rights. She really is going to change the world. MJ, you go. But there's a lot of behind her political and moral beliefs that really motivate her to fight for the things that she believes in. But on the other spectrum, there's a friend of mine who's a mom, Allison, and she has 2 kids and a husband, and has a great work from home business. So the things that are important to her are, the charities centered around kids, dogs, families, and that's wonderful too, because it's what's important to your life and the things that you can see are affected in the world. I had another friend who mentioned, almost in a guilty way, that she was sorry to say that the thing that brought her to volunteerism was that her daughter had been diagnosed with autism. And so now she does a lot of charities associated with that. And I would say, to that the same thing happened to me, where it was kind of out of a guilt. I felt that so many people had taken care of me that I needed to take care of other people in return. But don't let that guilt get you. Just
well, and
give
that
back.
kind of gives you a way to add some positive meaning to what could be a really negative or devastating situation. And so that volunteering gives you that opportunity.
Yes, and changing what you put out and get back from the world.
Right.
Yes.
That's right. Well, we want to remind you we have 15 fairs coming up this fall, beginning in late September. Those dates will be available on our website August 1st. So whether you want to sign up to volunteer or sign up to attend as a participant, we'd love to have you. We'd love to see you out at a fair this fall.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions about volunteering or looking for ways to get involved, we'll continue to monitor the comments. So let us know what you're looking for. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.